Hello, everyone. You're welcome to today's Friday live session. Very welcome to another episode of the Friday live session. If you know anyone that needs to be here, please reach out to them and tell them we are live. We are live, and it promises to be an interesting conversation that we're going to be having today. Um, it's been some time ago that we had our last Friday live session, and today it gives me great pleasure to have another session with you. And in these sessions, we talk about everything that allows you to equip you to give information, the strategies, the tactics, just share ideas, brainstorm with you on some of the challenges you may be facing as entrepreneurs who are looking to definitely grow and scale your businesses profitably and sustainably. So, all of the conversations that we have here on our Friday are geared towards helping you to be able to do just that, and also to be able to build businesses that are pretty much wealth machines, ventures that allow you to build wealth as a business owner. You're welcome. I see you coming in already. When you do come in, just let me know where you're joining from and how this particular Friday is looking at your end. And of course, share the link in your groups, share the links to your other entrepreneurs within your network that will definitely benefit from the conversations that we're going to be having today. So, in today's live session, we're going to be talking about what I call the silent growth killer. We all want growth, right? We are putting all of the effort in our businesses, in our entrepreneurial ventures with a bid to actually be able to grow and scale, right? And maximize the returns that we're making from those businesses. Every business venture is a profit venture, right? So at the end of the day, you really want to be able to run a profitable business. And so anything that will take you away from that objective is what we're going to talk about. And everything that will help you to achieve that objective is everything that we're also going to talk about. So today we're focusing on why it feels difficult to scale your business, right? Many of us have been in business for quite some time, and just scaling that business sometimes can seem very difficult because there are just too many moving parts. There are too many issues that you're dealing with at different points in time. And so sometimes it feels like you're putting in the work on a daily basis, but you're not quite seeing the result. So this is me welcoming you to another episode of our Friday live session that is going to focus on the topic, the silent growth killer, why scaling feels difficult and how you can fix it. If you're new here, my name is Abiola Adejiran. I'm a family business advisor and a wealth coach. I help entrepreneurs like you to build profitable, structured businesses that don't just thrive or that don't just survive but thrive. Um, Businesses that don't just survive but scale and create real wealth. All right, that's what we do here. So today's topic actually hits home for a lot of business owners, right? Which is talking about the things that actually are counterproductive to the objective of growth and scale for our business. So you're doing all the right things that you know to do as a business owner. You're doing your marketing, you're selling, you're trying to hire the right people, you're doing all the things that you think should make your business work, should make your business grow, and should help you scale your hustle, right? But sometimes it feels like the business is just stuck in that hustle mode. Every day feels like you're chasing fire, you're fighting fires. So you are like a firefighter in your business, right? And so it becomes very difficult to take the business from one level to another, or maybe your business has grown significantly and then it has plateaued. So it feels like you have hit a ceiling with your business and you're not able to take it to the next level, right? You've built this business that you've poured your heart, your soul to make it work, but now it's feeling like, instead of you feeling on top of the world, like you've built something that is really working, it feels like you're stuck. I don't know if any one of you can relate with this feeling, but I get this a lot from business owners when I engage with them, when I have opportunity to have discussions with them, and some of the people that we also work with as well. This is some of the experiences that they've shared over time, where it feels like they've hired people, but these people are relying on the business owner for everything. It looks like they can't use their initiative. It feels like everything just waits for the founder to say move before it moves, right? It feels like trying to scale the business has now become a game of try and error. And you know that your business has potential for more, but you just cannot figure out the strategy to access that more, to convert that potential into reality. So that part really feels very unclear. Does this sound familiar to you? Is it something you're experiencing in your business? Is it something you've seen before or that you've experienced before in your business? Now, this is the silent growth killer that keeps so many business owners trapped in this circle of working in their business instead of working on the business. Everybody is just really stuck in that place where they're trying to make it work, but it doesn't look like anything is really shifting. So why does this happen? What's holding you back? Why is it that you're unable to scale your business? Or why does scaling your business feel really hard? And how can we fix it? That's what we're talking about today. So let's break it down. The first thing I want to talk about is, why does scaling feel hard? Why is it hard? Because I have this business idea. I've been able to take this business idea to market, test it. I see that people like the business idea. They're willing to exchange value for value, meaning that these offers that we put out there, people are willing to buy, people are willing to subscribe to it. So we know that, okay, we have an idea here that, people are willing to put money on. But is that enough for you to be able to scale? That's the question. So let's first address the scaling illusion that a number of us get into. So let's start here. Many entrepreneurs confuse growth with scaling, right? Some of us feel like when our businesses are enjoying a level of growth, we're already in scale mode, we're already scaling the business. No, that's not true. Growth and scaling are two different things. One leads to the other, but they're not the same thing. Growing means that you have more customers, you probably have more employees working with you, you're making more money as a business. But often you also have more problems, because as with every growth phase, right, there comes other growth pains as well. So with every level of growth that you're getting into, right, it comes with its own attendant growth pains. Now, where growth is different from scaling is that scaling is about doing more with less. So it means that with scale, you've gotten to a point where you're not necessarily putting in additional work to get more results. By additional work, I mean you're not necessarily putting in more hours of work. You're not even necessarily hiring additional staff or more staff, as it were. It means that you're able to leverage the resources that you currently have more. Resources in terms of capital, resources in terms of people, resources in terms of time. Okay, so that is skill, meaning that you are running a systemized business that allows you to even reach more people in the market, allows you to be able to own a significant portion or at least a higher portion of the market share without necessarily expending so much more. That's when you got into the level of skill. And I'll use an example. Think about it like you're trying to climb a mountain or a hill with a backpack on. So you're carrying a backpack and you're trying to climb a mountain. If your business is not built to scale, every customer will add more weight. It's always good for you to be able to, and I'm sure for many of you that have gone on hiking before, or if you've had the experience of just climbing mountains and hills, even if it's just for fun, you will agree with me that the less weight you have on your body, even what you're wearing can constitute weight at some point. If you're not wearing the right shoes, if your shoes are too heavy, all of a sudden it begins to make the journey tougher as you go along. So the lighter you are as you're growing or as you're climbing the hill or the mountain, the easier it is for you to climb, right? So every additional weight you have on you will make it tougher as you climb up. That's the same thing with business. When your business is growing and it's not a scalable business, right? What it means is that every new customer adds more weight. And with more weight is more problems to deal with. So eventually you're exhausted. And that is why a lot of business owners talk about the fact that they're exhausted, they're overwhelmed. There's just that general sense of overwhelm. Even if you feel like the business is doing well in terms of bringing in the numbers, what it is taking you to bring those numbers in actually can be quite exhausting. And that is why some business owners kind of are very prone to burnout very easily. They burn out very easily because with every level of growth that you're aspiring to, it means that you're putting in more work, you're doing extra work, you're having to hire more hands, you're just having to do more and do more. Now, that's where growth and scaling is different. Businesses that are scalable are usually businesses that require less and less and less to get much more, or at least the same level of resource that you've always used before, but you're able to get much more results out of it. Let me use the example of a tech business, right? So you're building codes, you're writing codes, you're putting software together and all of that. And you're building this solution that allows people to maybe make payment, for instance, right? You'll find that a lot of these tech companies, the reason a lot of them are scalable businesses is because after they've built the minimum viable product and then they've gone ahead to build an enhanced version of the product that they're bringing to the market, you will find that what they need to serve 10 people or 100 people is probably the same infrastructure that they need to serve 1,000 people. So they don't necessarily have to add additional software to reach much more people. It's just the same way you're using, let's say you're doing email marketing and you're using maybe ConvertKit or MailChimp, right? Apart from your subscription rates or subscription charge that increases as you move from one band to the other, I believe that, for instance, for most of them, between the first subscriber to the 500th subscriber, you're paying the same amount of subscription fees. So if you like, let your subscribers be only three, meaning you're sending emails to only three, or you have 499 subscribers, you're still going to pay the same subscription charge. You see, or the bandwidth between 5,000 and say 10,000. So if you have 5,001, you're going to pay the same amount as someone that has 9,999. So look at it from that point of view, right? So in that case, when you think about a tech business that has built an infrastructure that can potentially hit 1 million people, whether they have hit 1 million or whether they can serve, whether they already have 1 million subscribers that infrastructure can sufficiently serve based on its capacity is irrelevant because they're not going to expend more, right? Even though they are still at 100,000. So the same infrastructure that they have at 100,000 is what they would still need when they are servicing 1 million subscribers. So it means that their revenue can potentially increase significantly from when they are servicing 100,000 subscribers to when they become 500,000, 600,000, 700,000. The revenue is growing, but their cost base is not necessarily growing. They're not building additional infrastructure. They're not putting in additional hours. The system has been built to serve that capacity. And so if you are falling short in terms of what you're doing, it means that you're not maximizing the potential of what has been created. That's what scale looks like. So scale does not mean that you expend more time, you expend more energy, you bring in additional staff and all that. So if that is the business you run where every level of growth means that you have to add more people, means that you have to put in additional hours, you need to first of all check whether your business is a scalable business to start with. And I know that we've talked about it in some of the sessions that we've had before. So, first of all, let's talk about the root causes. What are these silent growth killers? Why does scale feel really hard? And what are the things that are responsible for, scaling our businesses and it feeling so hard to do? Number one reason why scaling can be hard for your business is where you don't have a very clear business model. When I ask entrepreneurs about their business model, many of them don't understand what business model is. You know, your business model is how you make money. It's how you make money. That's what a business model is. How does your business serve its client? How does your business identify its client? How does it serve them? How does it make money? That's your business model. So if you're serving too many customer types, or you're offering too many products, or your value is not clearly positioned, you probably have a weak model that cannot scale. Okay. Many entrepreneurs that I've seen are offering too many products to too many people, just hoping that something sticks. So when you say, oh, what do you offer? You say, I offer this, and that. And then who are your customers? Everybody. Everybody. Like everybody cannot be your customer. So that's why clarity around your business model helps you to really niche down to what are your offers and who is it meant for significantly. There are many things that you may come up with. There are many offers that you may come up with that is best for a certain type of customer. And so if your offer is so clear that you've been able to define who your ideal client is, you're able to focus on making that product or service better refined. And then you're able to find more of that ideal client rather than spread yourself so thinly. And that's why sometimes your marketing efforts are also not as productive because you're trying to capture a big net. There's a sense of that fear of missing out, meaning you feel like you have to speak to everybody so that by the time you speak to everybody, somehow, you will find the people that your offers are meant for. But it's counterproductive because if you are speaking to a vast majority that your product is not best suited for, you have just wasted time and effort and resources as well. And so when your business model is not clear, right, it means that your effort will not yield as much result and scale will be very tough. So an example, for instance, is a fashion entrepreneur that is offering ready to wear, offering custom made outfits, offering bridal wear, offering children clothing, no niche, no focused pricing model. You want to do everything because you feel if bridal is not paying today, tomorrow children's wear will pay, and then tomorrow it will be ready to wear or custom made. It means that you will not be able to fine tune your internal structure to be able to deliver on all of these things that your business is promising, which is your value proposition. So ready to wear businesses, for instance, will focus on volume because they know that they create a large volume or they produce a large volume for select type of people. So if you're ready to wear is for the busy working woman, you know that you're then going to create pieces that the working woman can easily pick up and buy. And those things are created in less than maybe 48 hours, or maybe they're even already created and they can easily just purchase it and it gets delivered to them within 24 hours. You can then create a system to service those type of clients more efficiently than when you are trying to do ready to wear. At the same time, you are trying to do custom made outfits. So you can find yourself, having more people asking you for custom made outfits, that when people that are now asking you for ready to wear come, your ready to wear products are not readily available. So it's no longer ready to wear because you have now deployed your resources to serve custom made orders, and you cannot fulfill your ready to wear orders. So I hope that this example just helps you to see how sometimes we get into this burnout, we get into this overwhelm because we're trying to do too many things for too many people. You need to know who you are called to serve by way of the problem you have chosen to solve and the way you want to go about solving that problem. You know that I can decide to go into food business that is specifically for children that are picky eaters, meaning children that don't eat normal food, that pick their foods. So you want to create a balance of different types of nutritious meals that are also very attractive and interesting for children that are picky eaters. So how you find the mothers of children that are picky eaters will be different from how you find regular children that are not picky eaters. Another thing could be you want to create a product that serves women, right? Women is a broad category of client type to want to serve because there are stay-at-home moms and their needs are not exactly the same as a professional, busy career woman. And then when you even think about the age category, a woman in her 20s versus a woman in her 50s, their needs are not exactly the same. So you have to be able to narrow down to who exactly are you serving, and then be able to find those people in their numbers. Because what makes your business grow very quickly and be able to scale is that you have a large addressable market of the targets that you have chosen to provide service or product to. So sometimes it's this lack of clarity around our business model that makes it hard for our businesses to be able to scale. So let's say in that example of the fashion entrepreneur, if you decide that you want to service or you want to go with the offer of ready to wear products, the kind of things you will put in place, the kind of systems you will put in place to do that will be totally different from somebody that just focuses on, I get the order and then I produce. I get the order and I produce. Do you see? The number of machines that you would even need to do mass production, the number of people that you will need to do mass production, the kind of logistics process that you will put in place to deliver as a ready to wear producer of fashion item will be totally different from somebody that makes to order. I hope that makes sense for you, right? So you definitely have to ask yourself, do you know exactly how your business makes money sustainably? Could someone else, for instance, step into your business today and run it for a week? If your business has not gotten to a point where somebody else can step into your business apart from you and run that business today, then there's a high chance that your wealth creation engine needs some work. You need some clarity around your business model. So what do you need to do? You need to streamline your offer into one or two scalable categories. Which ones can scale in all the things that you've been doing? And how you answer that question also is based on where are we getting the most demand? Which market segment or client type demands these products that we have the most? How about we focus on these people and then find more of those kind of people? So you need to streamline your offer into one or two scalable categories. Then focus also on your most profitable and in-demand offer. It makes sense for you to deploy your resources to the ones that constantly are in demand. And beyond being in demand, have very decent profit margins. Because it doesn't make sense for you to put in all of the work, sweat, and tears, and then you're getting very, very, very small margins. You're going to burn out very quickly because you are doing so much to get so little. Do you see? So you need to think about it. Number two, silent growth killer. that are probably stopping your business from growing and scaling today is founder dependency, where the business depends on the business founder. You are the CEO, you are the marketer, you are the accountant, you are the customer service rep, you are even the delivery person. Do you know that when you are doing delivery, your brain cannot be tuned to thinking strategically about the business? You cannot be doing those two things at the same time. When you are the accountant, you cannot be the CEO that's supposed to be thinking about CEO issues as it relates to how to make the business grow and keep it growing. When you're working as the marketer or the service or the sales rep or customer service rep, in that capacity, you embody all of that in that moment. So you can't really, there's an illusion of multitasking that ultimately makes you less efficient than you should be. If everything runs through you in terms of decision making, delivery, customer service, then that is not business. It is glorified self employment. That's what it is. Even when you have team members that are working with you, if your team is waiting for you to approve every decision, that's not leadership. That's a bottleneck right there. You have constituted a bottleneck to a process that is supposed to be free flowing. So, those are the things that we need to really ask ourselves about and think about in our businesses. If your business cannot run for 1 week without you, then you don't really own a business. What you own is actually a job. And so we need to constantly ask ourselves these questions. And then, of course, what you need to do about that is to really list out all the tasks that you do. What are the things that you do on a daily basis? And look at it and ask yourself, what can I delegate? What are the 3 repeatable tasks that I do every month that I can actually delegate to somebody else? So, for instance, posting on social media. If you are the CEO of the business, you have to think about the product offer. You have to think about the production of the product offer. You have to think about getting the customer. Yet, you are also the same person that has to think about the content to put on social media. Now, this content is something you put on social media every day. If you're the person that is thinking about content every day, it will leave less and less time to do other work in terms of refining your product offer, in terms of making it better, in terms of even the actual production of that product and service. It will leave less time for that. Are you able to outsource it, or are you able to delegate that to somebody? Because it's a repeatable task. Create a system around how you generate content. The person that you delegate it to, give them pointers or a framework that they can work with, and they can go to work and create the content so that you can focus on other things. So I use myself, for instance, as a business owner, a consultant that works with businesses, helping them to grow and scale their business. And I'm delivering this session this morning. Now, this session is an integral part of the business that I do. Because when I show up live, beyond the fact that I'm doing it with the intent of helping business owners, is also how I create visibility for the work that we do. So, this for me is business development. Do you understand? This right here is business development, whether you choose to see it that way or not. I'm not just showing up here just to talk. This is not talk. I'm here to deliver a value offer that, even though it's a free value offer, it also showcases the business and the work that we do and helps people to see that we have the capacity to help them with specific business problems that they may be dealing with, and even gives us an opportunity to talk about what we've done, what we've seen, and people can relate with it as much as they're learning. They know that if they have a problem in that area, they know where to come to. So this right here is business development. But you see, if as I'm here right now, I have to still go and talk to a customer that has a complaint right here and right now, how is that going to be possible? Very impossible, I'm sure you know. And then the customer is there, disgruntled, is not being attended to. but I'm here doing this. That's why you have to think about what are the most valuable things that require your attention as a founder of the business. Those are the things you need to focus on. What are the things that it's only you that can do it? Something that other people cannot possibly do. So those are definitely the things you want to focus on as a business founder, so that every other thing can be delegated, every other thing can be outsourced. And then you don't just get overwhelmed trying to do everything by yourself, because the truth is that you really cannot. You think you are, but some other things are suffering, whether you like it or not. So you need to start with delegating at least 3 repeatable tasks that you do every month or every week or every day, as the case may be. That way you can then repurpose that time for other more strategic things. Okay. Another thing, or number 3 silent growth killer, is where your business lacks structure, where there are no operational systems. This is another silent killer that a lot of people may not pay attention to. So it's not marketing, it's not your competition that is not helping you to grow. Is that you are trying to scale a business that doesn't have the internal structure to support growth. Do you see? You're focusing on growing a business, you're focusing on scaling a business that does not have the internal structure to support the growth that you're asking for. So at the end of the day, you would realize that even when you step into that level of growth, you have created chaos. You have created an environment where your customers are even more disgruntled, because your service delivery, the quality of your service delivery has dipped, because now you are spread thinly. You don't have a structure that can support you at that level of growth that you're aspiring to. That is why businesses don't scale. Let me tell you about a client. I'll call her Chioma. That's not her real name. She had 10 staff, and of course, she was making decent sales, but her profits were inconsistent. So when we looked into her business, on the outside, the business looks like it's great. You know how you go on social media and you go on some people's pages, you just be seeing sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. On the outside, it looks like the business was doing very well, but inside was chaotic. Chaotic. It was every day was firefighting. Why? No structure, because of your competitors, right? Choma, it's not you. you know, Scaling will feel hard, not because of your competitors, not even because of the economy, not because you are not marketing enough. It's because your business is not built on a scalable foundation. You can't scale a business when you can't even measure whether your business is growing, and you can't replicate what is working because you are not measuring it. So you're not checking. So, for instance, we ran a program recently, and in reviewing it with my team, there was a spreadsheet that we used to capture the data to see, of all the different channels that we used to promote this program, which channel brought the most or gave us the most result in terms of what we wanted to achieve. And we were able to narrow down to the channel that gave us the most results. And guess what? It was the channel where we spent zero money, zero naira, that gave us the most results. Not even the one that we, put a lot of marketing budget. It was interesting, but if we didn't do that exercise, or if we didn't have a structure, a system in place that allows us to capture data that we can go back to say which channel delivered the most for us, guess what? When we want to launch the program again or launch a similar program, we will still go about doing exactly the same thing that we did without necessarily knowing which one delivered the most results, so that we will focus on that one and replicate it. So we realized that we actually put marketing budget out on a particular channel, but that channel actually delivered the least in terms of the objective that we were trying to achieve. So that's how you must have systems in place. There must be things that you are tracking. There must be things that you are able to measure. So that when you find something that is working, you can do more of that thing. You can replicate something that has worked. And if something is not working, you can stop it. You can stop it. So if your sales, the way you fulfill your orders, how you onboard new clients, your reporting, how you are tracking your cash inflows and outflows, if all these things are not documented or they are not automated, I can tell you for free, you will just be playing catch up on a daily basis. You will be playing catch up on a daily basis. And that's what stresses you. That's what causes you overwhelm. That's what is not allowing your business to scale because you don't even know what to scale. Sometimes you are putting effort where it's not even delivering the result, and you're leaving the things that are supposed to be delivering the result for you. We once worked with an entrepreneur that owns a salon, is a salon owner. And while she was making great sales, she was constantly overwhelmed. Like she literally would work from 8 o'clock when they open till like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. sometimes, every day, including Saturdays, and they even work on Sundays sometimes. So she was making money, but she was constantly overwhelmed. She couldn't be present at home with her children. She couldn't even attend her children's school activities. Her husband was complaining. Her health was also taking a hit. So there was just a whole lot happening. And so when we got into her business and reviewed it and all that, what we found out was that, number one, she didn't have a booking system. So there was no system that allowed people to book. So she couldn't plan herself. She couldn't plan how she fulfilled her client's orders, right? So if you don't have a booking system, for instance, it means that you're relying only on walk-in customers. What that means is that on a regular day, right, your walk-in customers may not come in at the beginning of the day. They may come in towards the end of the day. If you have not been tracking, you will not be able to plan yourself to maximize the time that your customers often come. And so you will be there sitting there and not being able to apply yourself to more productive work or deploy that time to focus on more productive work because you think that your customers will come at the same rate or at the same level of frequency as they will come during your peak periods. So you've not understood your business enough to know that there must be a system, there must be a method to the madness. If you have a booking system, you can easily say, today we have 10 clients coming in to do their hair, their nails, their this, their that. And you can plan your resources around that. So she didn't have booking system. She didn't even have a pricing strategy. So what that meant is that she needed to be in the store or in the shop every time a customer walks in because our people, the people that she's working with, cannot determine the price for anything. She's the one that gives the price from her head based on what the client wants. So she's not been able to crack a model that helps you say, if you're washing, you're steaming, and you are braiding, this is what it is. If you're steaming only, this is what it is. Do you understand? So she doesn't have a pricing strategy. Her pricing is haphazard. And then she doesn't even have a framework around how she trains her staff to be able to do the things that she does. So a lot of those things relied on her. She needed to supervise every little thing. She needed to pretty much be there, live pretty much out of her shop. So while her business looked successful on the outside, she was drowning on the inside. And that is why sometimes you talk to business owners who have been in business for 5, 10 years, you ask them, they tell you, yeah, I've been doing this business. It feels like I've just been going on autopilot, but I have little to show for it. I have little to show for it. So you've just been doing all of this work without necessarily creating a system to understand what works, to be able to do more of what works, and also to make sure that you don't drown in the process of doing or running your business. So she didn't have that. So without an operational system, every growth sprout that you have will feel like a crisis. Imagine yourself as a coach, right? You did a video and the video went viral, and all of a sudden, 20 clients are rushing you. and you don't have a clear onboarding system on how you onboard these people and you ensure that you're able to convert them to paying clients, guess what is going to happen? It's going to result in missed sessions because you will miss certain people's sessions. You will miss being able to attend to all of these people that have come in. You don't have a system that you take them through. And part of that system means that there are other people that also attend to them at different points. You're not the only one that is sending emails to all of these people. You're not the only one that is doing follow up. You're not the only one that is doing the actual session. And then you're not the only one that is following up with additional things that you need to share with the client after those sessions, or they send stuff to you to review. You're not the only one that is reviewing it as a coach. So what you'll find is that you now have these 20 clients that have bombarded you. You're struggling with how to onboard them. You're struggling with how to book their sessions. You're struggling with how to even hold their sessions. And in some cases, some people will be angry. They will not be happy with your service. They will ask for a refund of their money, and it will lead to bad reviews. So now the growth that you're asking for, rather than it being a blessing, has now become a curse. So if you don't have an operating system that works within your business, every growth that you experience will feel like a crisis situation. And that's what will consistently get you into that place of overwhelm. So what do you need to do? You need to systemize your key operations. Number one, how do you generate leads for your business? This revolves around how you do your marketing. Number two, and of course, when you think about marketing, marketing talks about, what type of marketing are you doing? What channels are you using for your marketing? If you're doing content marketing, what are the channels that you're putting those content on? What does content marketing require of you? Are you the only one that needs to create the content that needs to go on all of the platforms? What does that process entail after you've done the marketing and people are responding? Who responds to them? Who takes them further and brings them down the funnel to the point where they are able to exchange money with you? So lead generation. How do you capture the leads? How do you nurture the leads to the point where they become paying customers? And then when they show interest in willing to pay, how do you then onboard them as customers or as clients? When they give you their orders, how do you fulfill your orders? How do you follow up? How do you collect your money? How do you account for the money? What tools do you use? So you have to find a way to create systems around all these activities, these key operations of your business, and how you are able to track and measure how these processes are being done efficiently. You have to create tools. For some people, it can be as little as using Google Sheets to track and capture data that allows you to be able to go back to them or assign people to then use this data to do the work that they need to do. The number four thing that causes, or that kills growth or does not allow you to scale your business is weak cash flow or weak financial planning. So sales are coming in, but your expenses are also eating you up. So it really doesn't matter how much sales you're making. Your expenses are matching the sales that you're having. At the end of the day, you have little reserve. You don't know your margins. You're not able to forecast your cash flow needs as a business. That's dangerous. If you're running a business that just depends on, let's see what we make today, then you will not be able to run that business properly and ensure that you're running a business that at the end of the day will be profitable. If you don't know what your financial runway is, or you have no financial runway, and every expense feels like a crisis because now something has happened, you need money. You're now running helter skelter, you're now doing discount sales, discount offer, just because you want to you want some money to come in to meet certain expenses. Your business cannot be sustainable like that. If you're making sales but you're not seeing profit, go and check it. There must be something wrong with your pricing strategy. You must be able to run your business with a decent margin that takes care of your overhead expenses and leaves a reserve, something, profit that you can retain within the business to continue to grow the business. If you're running a business where your profit margin is so tiny, so little, any small thing that happens in the market like this will shift you into a loss place. You will now be forced into a situation where you're selling your product, but you're selling it at a loss. Before you go on a trade fair and go and discount all your products and everything, please be sure that you've captured all the costs that are incidental to how you produce that product or how you offer that service. Not just the actual cost of production alone, but transportation, the cost of your staff, the overhead costs, everything must be factored in and broken down to the point that every product carries a fraction of your overhead cost baked in it before you determine the sales price. Otherwise, you will sell out. But even in selling out, you have sold at a loss for the most part. So it's important that you check it. So the question for you is, do you know how much you need every month to break even as a business? What's your break even figure? What's your what's that figure? Because that's what should drive how you are marketing. That's what should drive how you price your products. Because you already know, I mean, some of your expenses are fixed, they are constant. For example, your rent. For example, salaries. As long as you have a certain number of people working with you and you've determined their salary, for the period that they're working with you, their salary is fixed. So on a monthly basis, there are certain expenses that are fixed. There are some that are variable, maybe based on the level of usage, right? But you should be able to have a figure. Having run this business for some time, you should be able to derive what the figure is. What's your break-even figure? And then when is your business likely going to run out of cash if your sales dip? If there are no sales or sales are not coming as they should, at what point is it possible that your business will run out of cash? Those are the things that also inform what your sales activities must necessarily be so that you don't get to the point where you run out of cash and then you get into crisis mode. So what are you supposed to do? You need to track your revenue and your expenses at a minimum on a weekly basis. At a minimum on a weekly basis, track your revenue, track your expenses, identify your break-even point. And then you must be able to build a 3-month cash buffer. Not that this month something happened and we didn't make sales, so we're unable to pay salary because we didn't make sales in this month. No. At a minimum, your business should have 3 to 6 months cash buffer that can take care of the highs and the lows of how business cycle can move. So now let's talk about how to fix some of these issues. Some of them I've told you things to do, the actions. But generally, let's talk about how to fix these silent killers. Number one, you need to build your core business engine. Your core business engine is your value proposition plus your offer structure plus the customer experience that you guarantee your clients or your customers. That you're saying, if you do this with me, this is what you get. That's your promise as a brand, as a business. So, what's your value proposition? What is the structure of your offer? And then, what is the customer experience you want them to have? Simplify your business model. Cut out things that are not contributing to profit or clarity. Anything that is not adding value to how you make profit or does not provide better clarity around how you get things done or improve the experience of your customers and make them come back, cut it out. It's irrelevant, it's not helping you. So pick one product or a service area that you have that brings you 80% of the value that you get in your business on a monthly basis. Then streamline the process around that offer and then do more of everything that makes you get more of that product sold or more of that service rendered. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you must design your future organogram or organization chart for the business that you're building, not the one you have right now. Because that's where some people also miss it. You are planning and you're building based on the business that you have right now. But remember, you're looking to scale, and scale is progressive, right? So there must be something that you are anchoring on that is pushing you towards, becoming better, standardizing better, being more efficient. There must be a standard ahead of you. Okay. So you definitely have to design what that future organogram looks like for the business that your ideal business, the business that you're building. Visualize the business that you want 12 months, 24 months from now, not the one that you have today. And then fill in all the roles and the responsibilities, even the one that you are currently wearing all the hats right now. Fill in all those roles and responsibilities. And then gradually begin to work towards it. Even if you're currently running solo, you're the only one in the business today, sketch out roles like operations manager, accountant, customer service, marketer. You are everything today. But in the next 24 months or in the next 12 months, you want to build a business that is big enough to be able to delegate some of these things to other people, either by way of hiring them directly or outsourcing them, as it were. This helps you to be able to visualize what to outsource, what to delegate. And then you hire by role, not by urgency. Hire by role, not by urgency. The reason a lot of us miss it when we are hiring and we end up hiring the right people is because we hire by urgency. Oh, something has now happened. You now have a lot of demand. You need to hire people. You need more people. You need more people. And then they just bring anyhow people. And then you take them on board. And then 3 months down the line, you realize that they are wrong hires. You've wasted money. You've wasted time. Your customers have even been, badly served. And you probably have lost customers in the space of 3 months just because you made a bad hiring decision. Hire by role. And the only way you can hire by role is because you've already designed the role ahead of when the person came. There's also clarity in terms of what the person is meant to be doing when they come, the tasks that you're going to delegate to them. Not that when the person comes, rather than delegate the task to them, you're still doing the work that you have hired somebody to do. Do you know that happens? I mean, it has happened to some of my clients before. They've hired people, but they found themselves still doing the work of those people. So build a simple organogram for your business, organization chart. Label who is doing what, even if it is not an immediate higher position. But label it, let it be clear, even for your own sanity, for clarity of thought around this business that you're building. Then gradually hire or outsource based on this plan that you've come up with. Okay? Number 3 thing that you need to do is to systemize your processes. Document key processes that you have. Very important. Very, very, very important. I have a lot of tools that you can definitely use. For those of you that are not familiar or that don't know what we offer, go to biolaflow.com/shop. You will see all of these tools. I can drop it here in the chat if you're able to get there. Just go there. I have the business structure toolkit that you can definitely use. Okay, it's also in the description to this video, right? Just go there and find tools that you can definitely use, tools that can help you to document your processes, right? Things that can help you to systemize your processes as much as possible. Create repeatable steps for everything that you do, from how you capture your leads to how you deliver your client's order. Everything, all the key systems that you do in your business, lead generation, how you convert sales, how you onboard clients, how you deliver the product or the service, or how you even produce it, to how you deliver it, how you track your money. Let there be a system for all these things. Start small, document what you do daily, and leverage technology as much as possible. Automate whatever can be automated. Document one process every week for the next 4 weeks. This is how you can do this thing. It's not hard. Just look at one side of your business. You can start with the sales. What do we do when we're trying to make sales? What does the process entail? When we're trying to do marketing, what do we do? Write those processes, put it down so that it's easy for your team members to take on that process and do it repeatedly. And if you take it one process per week, by the time you've done 2 months, you will have finished all these things and it will have been documented. So it's not meant to overwhelm you. You can space it out like that. You can even screen record some of these things. You can record it and then share it with your team members. You can document it by way of writing. You can create Google Docs to warehouse some of these things. If you go on that platform that I shared on our website, you will see the toolkits that give you, access to SOP templates that you can use. Even this thing that I talked about, create an organization structure. You have templates there that you can use. Things around defining the roles and responsibility for your team members, writing their job description. There are templates there that you can use. And all of them even come with videos that show you how to do it. So you're not even literally starting from the scratch. All right. Now, the fourth thing that you're supposed to do is to also manage your money game. You need to know your numbers. It's very important. Understanding your numbers is not optional. As a matter of fact, it is survival because your business thrives on cash flow. Cash flow is the lifeblood of any business. So you have to know your numbers. You need to ensure that you know which products give you the highest margins, right? And what is a decent profit margin for every product or every service that you want or that you sell. What are you looking at in terms of product margin that captures all your expenses and still leave something behind as reserve that you can continue to use to build your capital for the business? Make sure you know your margins. It's important. Track all your recurring expenses as much as possible. Okay? You must be able to forecast your income and your expenses. In this month, how much do we want to make in revenue? How much are we likely to make in revenue? And then you can also track how much expenses you are also going to make. That way, before the end of the month, you can already see whether you are going to land in a profitable position or in a loss position. And you can begin to make some adjustments here and there that ensures that you eventually you're not in the red. Okay. You also have to find a way to diversify your revenue streams around your business such that what you're offering is not just a one-time revenue product or service. You have things that people can subscribe to from time to time. And so that guarantees repeat sales, repeat income coming in. Monitor your cash flow as much as possible. Some people, you ask them, was your business profitable in the last quarter? If you don't know whether your business was profitable in the last quarter, I don't know why you are in business. If you don't know whether your business was profitable last month, I don't know what you're doing this month. What's going to be different about what you're doing this month from what you did last month? If you don't know what your numbers were last month, you don't know how much you sold altogether in revenue, you don't know what your total expenses were, you don't know whether you were profitable. And even if you knew that you were profitable, which product or service gave you the most profit? How did you arrive at the profit that you had so that you can replicate that, in the following month? Or what didn't you do well last month that you can now do very well this month? It's important that you track these things. Most importantly, build a profit reserve. If your business does not have a profit reserve, it cannot grow, not to talk about scale. That's why a lot of businesses are not growing. And so the conversation about scale is even very far because business is not growing. You must have profit reserve. It's important. And it's all of these things that we've been talking about. There was a restaurant owner that we engaged with some time ago. They were making great sales as well, but they were always broke, like any firm I talked about, right? Making sales and there was nothing left at the end of the month. That was the story. They would just see money coming in. They were collecting money, POS, cash, all of those things. And at the end of the day, there's nothing because as the money is coming in, is going out. It's coming in, is going out. There are things to buy. There are stock to replenish. There are salaries to pay. There are vendors to pay. There are this. So money is coming in and then it's going out as well. What we did was that we reviewed their pricing and we realized that they were undercharging by 30%. These kind of things you will not know until you do the review. You will not see it until you do the review. They were undercharging by 30%, hence why they were always broke. So you can use a simple spreadsheet, simple Excel to help you analyze all the numbers, what you're doing. Look at your bank statement. If you're the kind of business that all your transactions go through your bank statement, that's even easier. Download your bank statement in Excel. Don't download it in PDF. Download it in Excel. I think a lot of banking apps allow you to do that right now. Download it in Excel so that you can immediately begin to sort and see which one is inflow, which one is outflow. and what contributed the most to your outflows. Do you see? Very, very important. Track your expenses. Know the expenses that took away the most of your money. Track your top 5 expense categories and monitor it like a hawk. Review your pricing structure. Are you profitable after every delivery cost? Ask yourself that question. And then, of course, create scalable offers. Focus on leverage. You cannot scale without leveraging, without leverage. Scale requires leverage. Leverage your time, leverage your knowledge, leverage technology, leverage tools, leverage other people's resources, leverage other people's time, leverage other people's knowledge. Leverage. Your own time is limited, so leverage other people's time. Scaling requires leverage. Leverage technology, leverage partnerships, leverage people. I can tell you for free from experience just working with business owners, not all offers are scalable. So focus on offers that don't require your time one-on-one every time because you're a limited resource. So you need to ask yourself this question. Is your offer delivery very heavy on you as the founder or relying heavily on you as the founder? Is it heavily reliant on you as a founder? Like you must be involved before that thing gets done. You need to start creating signature products that can be sold without you particularly being part of the process of that sale, that don't require your constant presence. That's the only way you can scale your business. That's the only way, you know. An example, for instance, could be a fashion brand collaborating with influencers to create visibility instead of spending money heavily on ads. So you need to find what works and leverage that more. So in your business, identify one area that you need to automate. Identify one task that you need to delegate. Identify one person in your industry that you need to partner with, or maybe not even your industry, but can complement what you do in your business that you can partner with. Those are specific actions that you can take today and can make a difference in your business outcomes. Find a way to productize your service. In my business, for instance, I can't possibly sit with everybody and offer them one-on-one coaching. As a matter of fact, because I'm a limited resource, it's practically impossible to be able to do that if I want to scale what I offer. So what did I do? I converted them to toolkits, converted them to videos. So I create videos telling you, showing you things that I will have done with you when I'm with you one-on-one. Put it in a video format and sell. And I can continue to sell that to thousands of people. So I create toolkits, I create workshops, and I sell the replays of the workshops because I cannot repeat workshops over and over and over. How many can I possibly do? How much time do I have? So find what works in your own business. Create programs, create retainer offers, create subscription-based services and products that can continually be on repeat sales. Now, lastly, let's talk about the mindset to scale. Scaling is not only operational, it is psychological. Scaling is not only structural, it is mental. It is mental, very much so. So you have to think of how you're going to move your mind or your mindset from control to delegation. You must let go to grow. Very important. You must let go to grow. Sometimes I write some content and I send it to my team member and they rewrite that content and it's even better than my own. Am I going to say, oh, because I'm the boss, you must use my own? No, I acknowledge their good work and give them thumbs up. So don't feel like you have to be the best brain around everything. Find people that are also capable and can do great work and encourage them to do it more. So move from control to delegation. Move from being busy to being strategic. Not everything that is urgent is important. You have to be able to decipher what is urgent and important and what is urgent and not important, and find a way to allocate your time to things that are urgent and important, or things that are at least important to be done. Okay? Learn to move from being reactive to proactive. The only way you can be proactive is when you plan, when you track, when you measure, because all of those things become data points that inform your decision making, as opposed to you just reacting on impulse on something that has now happened, that has become a crisis that now needs your attention, and then you now need to make a decision that is not properly thought through, or that you didn't have enough data sets or data points to inform that decision. I'm always amazed when I talk to entrepreneurs who are not on top of their numbers, but they are making everyday business decisions. And I say to you, there is no business decision that you're making today that at the end of the day does not have a naira and kobo, dollar and cent implication. It has financial implication at the end of the day. Whether you choose to do marketing, you don't choose to do marketing, whether you choose to hire somebody, you don't choose to hire somebody, whether you choose to release a product or you choose not to release a product, whatever you do has monetary implication. That's why you cannot afford to make decisions in your business that is not guided by your numbers. I don't know how you do it, but your numbers need to inform your decision making. So you must move from reactive to proactive. You must move from doing to leading. Because there are a lot of people that are just used to doing. You've always done it for the longest time, and so you feel that you have to be the one to do it. No. For your business to scale, you must think of how you're going to move away from doing to leading other people to do, to get result through other people. You have to move from perfection to progress. Done is better than perfect. Do you see? Because the life is moving, business is moving, market is moving, everybody is moving, everything is dynamic. Don't stay stuck in your perfectionist tendencies. Move from perfection to progress. Set minimum standards that you must not drop below, and then keep it moving. Your business can only grow as fast as you do. So the growth starts with you, and that's why your mindset is important. So I want you to schedule 1 hour every week. Call it CEO hour. Just reflect. In that 1 hour, all you're doing is you're just reflecting. You are reviewing. You're planning. You're not doing anything much. All you're doing is just thinking. Make it your thinking time where you think about the business and the things that are working, the things that are not working, and you continue to fine tune it and make it better. So schedule your 1 hour CEO hour every week to think. Let me tell you something. You don't scale by doing more. You scale by doing less better. If you don't go away with anything that I've said about scaling your business today, let this continue to ring in your mind, especially when you feel like you're being drawn back to your old ways of doing things, where you just want to keep doing and doing and doing. You don't scale your business by doing more. You actually scale by doing less, but doing it better. So that's where we're going to leave it for today. I don't know if you have any questions. If you have any questions, I'm able to take it in the next maybe 5 minutes before we call it a wrap. And I also want to hear from you what resonated with you the most. I know you've been dropping comments and I've been reading them. What resonated with you in this session? What's your biggest takeaway? What's even your biggest struggle with scaling your business right now? And if this session has helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Get the link and go and post it in all your WhatsApp groups. Let other people also learn. Share it with another entrepreneur who is on the verge of burnout. Of course, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell so that every time I go live, you can always learn something from me. Because this platform is actually here to help you. Not just to hustle, but to build wealth the smart way. And your business can easily be a wealth making machine. But these are all the bottlenecks These are all the things that could potentially stop your business from being a wealth making machine. And I'm always out here to talk about one thing or the other that can help you get better with your business. So, what has resonated with you the most in this session? Drop your biggest challenge in the comments. Let's talk through it. What hit home for you the most in today's conversation? As we wrap up, scaling is not a mystery, it's a decision to lead differently. Oyema says, creating future organogram now. Absolutely, yes. Don't create for the business that you're running now, create for the business you want to run, the business you want to have, your ideal business. Yes, that in itself is even more inspiring than when you're creating for now and you're sucked up in all the things that are not working. So even the energy that comes out of it is energy that says you're fixing things, you're solving a problem. But when you create an organogram that is progressive, it's inspiring, and it begins to also shape your action. It begins to help you drop certain things and embrace some new things as well. It helps you to know where you need help as well and what kind of help you should go for. Do you see? It helps you to know what to delegate, what to outsource, what to focus on, what to drop, all those kind of things, right? So scaling is not a mystery. It's a decision to lead differently. It's a decision to structure intentionally. It's a decision to grow strategically. So if you're going to take just one step today, what would that decision be? If you're going to take one step today, what would that step be? And I can bet you with that one step, you're already on your way. CEO hour now on my reminder weekly. Fantastic. Great. Great. Some of you just need to create thinking time. Thinking time to be able to reflect, to be able to review, to be able to plan. For some of you, it may be that you just have to get your bank statement and commit the next 1 hour to reviewing it and let those numbers talk to you. Because numbers talk, numbers tell you a story about what you've been doing in your business. It gives you like a report card of how your business has panned out in the last couple of months or weeks, as the case may be. So, yeah, for some people, that may be what they need to do today. And if that is what you gain from today, that's definitely something. And as long as it leads you on the path of taking the right decision, absolutely, that's something gained. That's value delivered today. You don't scale by doing, you scale by doing less or by doing it better. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I know that you've learned a thing or two. You can come back and watch the replay of this session and take some more notes. But by all means, like I said, feel free to share this link on all your WhatsApp groups. A lot of entrepreneurs need this. Like, this is the kind of thing you sit down, pay a coach to tell you to do. Here you have it on a platter of gold, free of charge. Freely you were given, freely share. All right, that'll be my last charge for you today. And until another time when I will come on another episode, sharing something again that I believe will definitely help you to grow a business that is profitable, that is sustainable, and of course, build a wealth machine that can allow you to build wealth sustainably. Until another time, I'm going to say bye for now, but more importantly, make sure you keep growing. Take care.